Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today we're going to be continuing What If Sakura Left with Sasuke, and today is going to be potentially the final installment depending on the support this part gets. I might continue into Boruto, but there's not really too much I could cover, but I'll try my best. But more than likely, this is going to be the final installment, and with that being said, let's end this finale with a bang and get right into where we last left off. Enjoy the video, guys.
Hey, collecting rings like a Sonic. Bitches wanna party. My wrist getting heavy. Got 'em on a diet, yeah. Flex like I'm Hogan. Yo, bitch coming over.
We start our story where we last left off, which was with Naruto being declared the hero of the leaf and Talk no Jutsuing Nagato. In the meantime, Sakura and the rest of Tako would face off against the 8-tailed Jinchuriki, that being Killer Bee. Sasuke would first try to fight him, and when Jugo and Suigetsu intercept, Sakura would already be way ahead of them and intercept Killer Bee's deadly blow that would have done some serious damage to Sasuke. Sakura would then cast a Genjutsu to stun Killer Bee as Jugo and Suigetsu get ready to clothesline him, but luckily Gyuki snaps him out of the Genjutsu and Killer Bee easily reacts to Jugo and Suigetsu, and Sakura would be frustrated at this and she would then join in the fight along with Sasuke, making it a 4v1 against Bee. Now, as we all know, Killer Bee would eventually let out the 8-tails, bodying most of Team Taka, and this would then resort Sasuke into using the Amaterasu and seemingly capturing him, but it would be revealed that Killer Bee actually escaped Team Taka's grasp, and this still leads into Sasuke and Team Taka heading out to the Kage Summit because Sasuke would still want to kill Danzo, and this would still lead into them fighting the Kage. Sasuke would be facing off against the likes of the Raikage, while Sakura would be fighting the Raikage's goons, aka Darui and C. Jugo would try and go in to fight the Raikage similar to in canon and still gets bodied, while Suigetsu and Sakura handle C and Darui. Now, Darui versus Suigetsu would ensue similar to in canon, at least at first, and when C and Sakura face off, Sakura would actually show off some impressive Genjutsu feats. This Genjutsu that she has, that she learned from Orochimaru's training, is actually stronger than any Genjutsu that C has, and C is just completely petrified and terrified of Sakura. Sakura here wouldn't kill C, but rather just spare him, stab him in the shoulder, and leave him to die, and with that being said, she would then turn and then help Suigetsu face off against Darui. Reason why is because she's not really threatened by C, she bodied him pretty casually, and all he could really do is try and use Genjutsu, which she can easily resist. Anyways, she amps up chakra within her blades and begins to combat Darui, with Suigetsu being behind her and being her main backup because Suigetsu is kinda weak to Darui since he could hard counter him with his lightning and water, which Suigetsu kinda gets negged by lightning. Suigetsu and Sakura would be scrapping with Darui, and this leads into Sakura then telling Suigetsu to just run in guns blazing, which Suigetsu wouldn't mind, and Suigetsu gets negged by Darui's lightning, but he isn't fully concentrated on Sakura, who is getting around Darui and clotheslining him with a blade slice. Darui would then be subdued, and Sakura and Suigetsu would then face off against the Raikage, which leads into Sakura trying to clothesline the Raikage with an amped up chakra blade and multiple slices to his chest, but even then, they wouldn't even pierce his skin and the sword would actually break. Suigetsu would then try and use his shotgun jutsu, which is a Hozuki technique, but it does absolutely nothing, and the Raikage would just kind of one-shot him away, along with Sakura. This then leads into the Sasuke versus Raikage fight at the end, and since there's no Gaara here, well, the Raikage loses a leg. Sasuke would be subdued by this attack. He wouldn't die, but he's damn near close to it, and the Raikage would just kind of chop off his leg that's on fire casually and is now running and fighting on one leg. This then leads into Temari, the new Kazekage, arriving to help the Raikage, and they would then prepare to fight Sakura and Suigetsu and a Jugo who just got done recovering. Now here, the Raikage would kind of just take a step back since Temari would be confident in her abilities to handle the situation pretty easily, and Suigetsu and Sakura and Jugo try their best to work together, but Temari's speed is just completely out of this world. I guess ever since Gaara died, she really stepped up her game and actually did a lot more training than her canon self, becoming more powerful and even more faster than her canon self. She would casually dodge Jugo and actually jump into the air, shooting a wind scythe jutsu, which actually sends Jugo flying away, since this Jugo isn't at full power, and Suigetsu would try his best to use, again, his Hozuki technique, but even then Temari's just jabaiting him and smacking him with wind. As for Sakura, she would be dealing with Temari's projectiles by simply cutting them in half, but this would then lead into Temari shooting a barrage of wind-style jutsu to the point where Sakura would be overwhelmed, and Sakura would then be defeated. At that point, Temari would then get ready to summon you know, that little weasel she pulled out against Tayuya, but here we would actually see it in Shippuden, and she would then prepare to use that, you know, little tornado move that she did in those Storm games, so, you know, one of those moves. And this would lead into Sakura and the others having no choice but to try and escape, and Karin would be carrying Sasuke while all the others would be following her. Now, I feel like here Temari would bop everyone on the squad, considering Sasuke is down for the count and everyone else that is a fighter on the team kind of got bopped by Temari, but I feel like she would put all of her attention to the Raikage's injuries, which the Raikage would then reveal that he's probably going to need a prosthetic leg or something. And I feel like here, the Raikage would low-key have a Part 5 Polnareff situation where he would be in a wheelchair, and this would then lead into the Raikage kind of wheelchairing away, and he would still have that little encounter with Naruto, and still go on to save Killer Bee from Kisame. You could maybe even have Temari being alongside the Raikage and listening to the conversation between he and Naruto, and actually chip in a little bit and say how Sasuke has completely changed, and Temari could maybe help out against Kisame. That probably makes a lot more sense since there's no way for the Raikage to kind of get a wheelchair, so we'll just have Temari helping him out. Now here I believe that Sasuke would still fight Danzo because Karin would heal him up, and then they would then encounter Danzo, and Sasuke versus Danzo ensues, with Sakura being in Karin's position and actually getting stabbed by the lightning and being Danzo's hostage. Sakura here would feel betrayed, kind of like how Karin felt, and this would then lead into Naruto using Sage Mode to try and track down Sasuke, and he, Kakashi, and Yamato would then move out, and that whole little Sakura search party, that really isn't made here because Naruto, Yamato, and Kakashi got it, and the ones who formed it were Sakura. Anyways, this leads into Sasuke versus Naruto, and Kakashi and Yamato would try and face off against the rest of Team Taka. We can have Yamato maybe facing Jugo and Suigetsu, while Kakashi solely focuses on Sakura. Sasuke versus Naruto is kind of the same as in canon, with Sasuke being heavily fatigued and them going into base to base, and Sakura would be subdued by Kakashi with no difficulty, and Kakashi would even try and help out against Suigetsu and Jugo, which he could easily help out since he uses lightning and Suigetsu kind of gets negged by that, so Suigetsu would be defeated, while Jugo would be kind of a main issue for Kakashi and Yamato. I could see Jugo overwhelming Kakashi and forcing him to use the MS, which, if he does, Kakashi would just instantly kill Jugo right then and there, which leads into Sakura, Suigetsu, and Karin being a little shocked. Sasuke would more or less be unfazed because he believed that Jugo did his job and served his purpose, so he doesn't really care if he dies since, you know, he already accomplished everything he needed to do for Sasuke, which everyone on Team Taka is kind of disgusted to hear that because Jugo is a teammate and a friend. Now, I feel like Sakura would get back up after realizing Jugo is killed, and she would then try her best to fight Kakashi, but this would then lead into Kakashi casually catching her blade and stopping her and asking her a question. Why is she doing this? She's clearly already seen Sasuke's dark side and what path he's heading down to. Does she really want to risk everything she has, her own life even, just to help out this guy? This guy doesn't even care about her. He's literally just using her. Sakura would then say how she kind of came to that sort of conclusion earlier in the Danzo fight, and she would reveal about what had happened when Sasuke stabbed her, and Kakashi would be shocked along with Naruto. Kakashi believes that if this is true, why not just come back to the Leaf? I mean, she'll bare minimum serve a little bit of jail time because she was involved with the crimes, but she didn't directly kill anybody, and this would then lead into Sakura now having a Telltale type beat choice. Does she A, go with Sasuke and just go down the path she was going down already, or B, turn back and go to the good side? I think here Sakura would come to realize that Sasuke is just no good anymore, and this Sasuke is different, and Sakura can't really change that. She's already tried before, and with the Danzo thing already happening, she has already made her mind, and she decides to go to the Leaf and spend a little bit of jail time, but luckily Kakashi would bail her out later. And this would then lead into Sasuke and the rest of Team Taka leaving with Obito, and Obito and them would then get ready for the war, with Sasuke getting the EMS, and Sakura would then be welcomed back home. Now here, this is where the changes kinda stop, because Sakura here in the war didn't really change too much other than healing Naruto and keeping him semi-alive, but regardless, Naruto was going to die and Hagoromo was going to revive him. So she doesn't really change much without her medical ninjutsu, and probably more irrelevant Jonin probably die. And the only changes I can see in the war arc being are Temari facing off against Rasa, and with Inoki's help, they could probably seal him away, or just wait for KCM Naruto, and Gaara actually being reanimated in the war, and Naruto and Killer Bee having to face him, along with the rest of the Jinchuriki, and when Gaara is, released from the Edo Tensei, he would then say for Naruto to keep on going and good luck, which is a really emotional scene considering how much Gaara has had an influence on Naruto, and how much influence Naruto has had on Gaara. Here, I could see Sakura maybe having an encounter with Suigetsu, or maybe joining alongside Kakashi, Guy, Killer Bee, and Naruto facing off against Obito, and even joining alongside Might Guy, Minato, and Kakashi, and Obito, and Rock Lee, and Temari, since, she would be taking Gaara's place against Madara. But yeah, regardless, at the end of the war arc, really things don't change too much except for Sakura using a sword, so she'll probably just stab Kaguya's eye rather than just punching it, and this would then lead into the three of them still sealing Kaguya away, and Naruto and Sasuke having their final battle. Naruto would still marry Hinata and get married, and I feel like here Sakura and Sasuke might not get together considering that Sakura has been betrayed, but it's really up to you guys. And with that being said, this is where I'm going to be leaving things for right now. What did you guys think of this story? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Do you guys want me to make a movie version out of this? Because I definitely will. Like, comment, share with your friends, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you're updated and notified every time I upload if you are new. And again, go follow my social medias in the description. Go join my Discord, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for watching. My name is Tyler, and peace out. Bye.